Everybody, I'm going to give you a LucidChart demo. When you get your license and you open LucidChart, you should see this screen, which is sort of the dashboard or the home place where it shows all your various documents. And in this case, I'm going to create a new document under here, and it gives you some wireframe templates. Because I had actually had wireframe selected down here. They're all different templates you can use. Under the standard, there's all different categories, business, education. So you can do a lot of different things with this diagramming program. And there's a lot of other diagramming programs out there. This one we got an educational license for, so it's free for you to use. But there are many others of different complexity and ease of use and feature sets. But this is a good one for us to start with for this course. So the bottom of under standard templates is wireframe. You want to select that as your template to choose, and you can choose different ones here to use depending on what you're doing, whether it's your wireframing your WordPress blog. It'll bring you in some of the standard YouTube, brings you in some of the standard wireframe. And it's kind of interesting by this, like if you click on YouTube as a template, as it loads in, you can see what a wireframe of a typical YouTube page looks like. If this is what it would look like if it was a wireframe. This is sort of mid fidelity. It's not quite low because there's pretty lot of precision about where things are, and it's not high because it doesn't show all the colors and various logos and whatnot. And in fact, some of the things aren't even like this. It's not even really aligned well, so there's some issues with this. But it gives you an idea what a wireframe looks like of a page that you see on a standard, a lot. Assuming you use YouTube. So actually, going back to go to documents here, back here, and you see since I opened it, it created it as a document for me. I'm just going to delete that because I don't really need that anymore. So I'm going to say document new. Wireframe templates it's showing me because I'm under the wireframe templates. I've selected that down here. And I'm going to say blank wireframe in this case, which basically gives me a blank page. So it loads up. Okay. Under file, you can save as to give it a name, which I would do right away. So in this case, just this is for Intelligence Careers 4004 page, and say OK. So now it has a title. To share this, to share it with me when it's time to show me what you've worked on before you hand in the final. If you want to share it with me, under share, you collaborate, click access link, and then say the multi-use link. Click that. Say that can edit and share. That way I could edit and add notes. And I'm going to generate the link. At this point, then, you can see it adds collaborators multi-use down here. And so whoever gets this URL, who has LucidChart open, can open this graph and work on it. So be careful, because if you share it with someone and they could mess it up on you. If you share it with me, I will be careful, but I might add some comments and point some things out when you send it in the next week and a half, 2 weeks, for me to review, which I recommend you do as you're working along, so I kind of see what you're doing and working on if you choose. So you generate the link, and there's another one. So let me just get rid of one of these. And then here's this link, and this is the link that you send me. Just copy it, Command C, and send it in an email for me to go take a look at. You can change the privileges of the multi-use link to edit and share, can edit, can comment, can view. With me, do it edit in case I want to move something around. If you want to send it to a friend, just to view, you can click the can view, and they can view it, and they can't do anything to it. Which is really a great feature in there. Okay, so I'll close this. Now to start. So on the left, here's a bunch of UI containers, which is like a whole web page. And so you pick one and drag it over here. This is for just a standard web page. You can drag the corner and change the size of it. Unfortunately, LucidChart does things in inches or centimeters. It doesn't do in pixels, and I'm going to ask them about that, because pixels is kind of a standard way we define size in web pages or mobile apps or whatever. So, but in any case, you can kind of size it to what you want to look at. I'll delete that one. And you see there's different styles, right? And then you can give it a name up here. Okay, and let's take a look at another style. Smaller page. This might be more for a mobile type or a very small environment. And then there's right panel. It's kind of looking like you could drag a panel as a container onto a web page. So you can embed containers inside containers, for instance. So if I drag this one here, make it a little bigger, and then I can drag this panel here, right? So then you can embed things like that. And there's all kinds of tabs and so forth. Okay. One thing you should do when you create a background that you want to work with is to lock it. So if I right-click, click it there, yeah, select it, right-click, lock. Now I can't move it, I can't muck around with it. So if I drag some other thing on it and accidentally hit out here, I'm only using this one, it stays fixed in place. So that's convenient to think about. Just have to remember that if you want to alter it, that it's locked. So for any object you drag out, you get this little gear, you click on that, and you can do anything with that object. Let's get that gear again. This shows you some variables or things you can change on the panel. I can add panels. I can which one I want to select. This becomes important when you're actually prototyping. Which one I'm doing is that you want to show what happens if you select, let's say, number 2. What does that look like, and so forth. And you can add scroll bars if you want, top, bottom, left, right. And once again, if I right-click on this guy, there's a variety of things I can do. Bring the back, send the back. That's important for arranging the lock. Move to a layer. You can set up different layers. Presentation slide, draw a line. Create hotspot. That's for prototyping. You can add it. If you make your own, you can add it to your custom shape library. Add comment notes and so forth. Okay, so let's look at some of the other things we have. UI widgets. Typically an X like this is used to, in the, oops, sorry about that, drew a line by accident, arrow, is used for defining an area to hold the photograph. Of course, there's, if you have videos, maps, and notice as I see what's happening is like, see if you wanted to, if you're doing a flow chart, see this little red box, this little red dot, you can essentially draw an arrow from anything to anything, and it keeps that arrow consistent. I'm just hitting it by accident when I put this together. Make my page a little bigger, because after all, web pages can scroll. Oh, see, remember it's locked, right? I want to make it bigger, so I right-click, select it, right-click, turn off unlock, make it a little bigger, right-click, lock it again, so I don't mess around with it by accident. And I can add some more things here in terms of our widgets. So what else do we have? We have a little calendar guy, happen to have doing a graph, a little person icon, let's say an avatar kind of thing, resize that. And notice as I drag things around, it's giving me alignment lines, which is really convenient. I'm also locking to the grid. It also shows me the space in between, and it shows me when I've matched the space up above. So notice as I come in close, it shows me up above, matching the space up above. If I drag this one down, and I can drag that one out. So very quickly you can get things to align in space properly. Let's get this guy here a little bigger and so forth. What else? We have UI input. So let me just get rid of one of these. Checkboxes. Let's see what my options are here. I can choose more options. I should be able to go in and change text on these. So choice 2, so you can make that be the exact text. Pull down. The options here are show me how many options there might be there, and so forth and so on. Radio buttons, obviously, all kinds of choices. Get rid of this. What else we have? Okay, and you can play with slider bars, and you can actually probably, I would suspect, move this around on the slider bar. It's really cool. UI menus, so this is what it says, menus. So I can click on here and I can add menu items. And then if I want more space, drag them out, make them bigger. One thing it also does, which I'm not crazy about, and I haven't figured out the default, it defaults to everything sort of having these little rounded corners. So if I right click on that and let's see, how do I change that? Yeah, right click, and then over here, if I select graphic icon, it allows me to change the corner radius, which I'm going to make 0, so it's square. Also the line, I prefer 1, and then you can change the the color of the lines and so forth. You can fill, do a simple gradient if you want it, and so forth, and change the angle. And if you want a shadow, and so forth, opacity if it's on top of something. So I prefer these with square edges. So I'm not sure if how to set the default on that. I'll have to look at that. See what else we have. So we're looking at UI menus. So there's horizontal. Drop-down menus, and then there's miscellaneous, thought bubble, tooltips, all kinds of stuff here. And you can add your own if you make one. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of all of this and show you Command A for Command All. Of course, it didn't do my background because it's locked, remember? So click it, right click, select lock. Now I can get rid of that too. So I'm going to show you a tip in order to do the Intelligence Careers website. Sort of shortcut what you have to do. So it turns out, if I'll go over to here's the IC homepage, that if I'm not going to use a front page as an example because it's pretty complicated. So I'm going to click Transitioning Military because it's kind of short, so it shows me the whole page from the footer to the header. Their header and footer is very plain, very simple, very kind of like a wireframe. So why not use it? And we'll get rid of everything in the middle. Say if I choose Command, Control, Shift, 4, it gives me a little crosshair, and whatever I draw into as I drag and drop the marquee, will get clipped into my clipboard. So I'm just going to go right over here, and just like that, and I'm going to draw all the way down to out here. Make sure I get the bottom all the way. Release. Here my sound it takes to click, and I go back to go back to my page, and then when I do paste under the LucidChart menu, wow, there it is right here. And boy, I'd save myself some time because I don't have to remake wireframe. And I'll say in this case, wireframe the footer and the header, because that's what's consistent about all the pages and what we need in this wireframe. So remember, I don't like the rounded corners it defaults with, so I click the graphic thing, icon, and I just go down. So it gives me no, there. It's square, that's better. Now, another tip. We don't need any of this in between. I don't want you to, I wouldn't draw this graphic because we want low fidelity with no logos. So what I would do in this case is set a photograph. First of all, what I'll do is I'm going to lock that into place for now as I do a little work on this. So right click, lock. So I'm going to take my UI widgets, remember the one that's a X. Now I'd like to see what's behind it, so if I go to my graphic icon and fill I can say solid color. What I can do is make it change the opacity so I can see what's behind there as I drag it across. And I'm just going to drag that exact size of that graphic. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is go back and add that opacity back. So now I've got my header area. Once again, it's rounded corners, which I hate. Let's get rid of those. Okay. At this point, I've got the header and footer, nothing, and I don't need any of this in between because I'm doing it in the page. So I can create a white box in there. But what if I want to change where the footer is to the bottom? Okay. So I'm going to unlock the background. I'm just going to lock my banner box for now so I don't accidentally mess up with it. So I'm going to do Command C, Command V, and make a copy of, I'll do it here, edit, copy, paste, copy. I've got a copy of that. So then if I select that guy, let's get rid of this. If I right-click my control menu for that object, let's do it up here where I can see it, edit mask, which is really cropping tool. So now I can crop this position where I want it, and grab the corner thing. Let's go like that, and grab that corner frame bracket thingy, and I can essentially crop just my top menu area. That's, come on, there we go. Okay, make it a little bigger. Okay, and then I hit the return button, and I've got my top menu. Do the same thing for the bottom one. So I select this guy back here, and I do edit mask. So you got a picture of myself there. Okay, well. Now that I'm in the right-hand corner because that's, as I'm recording this, I accidentally grabbed that as well. So I'll deal with that in a second. So, and I grab my crop corner, get that like that, and go down, this up. Turn. And now I've got my footer and my header. And now I re-unlock or dislock or unlock the graphic area, bring that up here. And now I've got the containers, so to speak, for my wireframe. And then what I can do is I can drag that and see if it lines up top to bottom, which it does. And then I could take like a box like this if I wanted to draw a container around the whole thing. Now I do right-click, send to back. Now it's behind everything. It's my little graphic tool here. Get rid of those. It's got to be a way to default 0 corner radius. And there you have it. I've got, and I'll drag this in a little bit. And now I'm ready to, oops, sorry about that. And now I'm ready to work on my, get rid of that text thing. So now I'll lock all that down, assuming this is the height I want this. Well, let's move this down a little bit. So to drag something so you can align it very precisely without going to the grid, I select the box here, and I get my control corner arrows, hit Command, the Macintosh, it'll let me do it. Not the arrow. Oh, come on. Let's try it again. Okay, there. Hit Command, and then I can drag it in without shifting right to the grid. So I can get nice and precise up here. So my box is just around the edge. Wireframes is very important to be precise with all your alignment. If a little thing is off, not quite aligned, leave little mystery spaces, it just, the credibility goes down. Okay, there we go. So now I'm going to, well, let's actually get this guy a little bit better. There, okay, that's good enough for now. So I'm going to, I basically, now you can make it a group. So I've selected all of them, Command A on Macintosh, right click, and you group it. Now this whole thing is a group. And then lock. There we go. Now everything's locked in. I can't move it. I can't alter it. And I can do, so I could add an arrow, but now I can start working inside this space and start working on my 404 page and what it's going to be and what it's going to say and how it's going to look inside there. So that's that's how you can get set up for this. Once again, you want to save periodically, saving on the server. And remember to share your site when you're ready. You just hit share. Delete this, show you again. Click, instead of people, do access link, multi-use link, edit and share, generate link, and there you have it. That's the link you want to use. Okay, just send me and then I'll be able to collaborate with you. Okay, enjoy. Hope you have fun with this, and thanks for putting up with me. Take care.